surprised if I get stopped at some point, told off to stop filming. So here we go, we're going to start out. There's a very, very loud woman here shouting about a new Cats game, very much like Nintendo on the DS. Over here we have a new game called Ghost Squad, which is a shooter from like 2005 that hit the arcades. It's going to use the Wii Zapper. Let's have a look at that. I played that and previewed that for the site, so take a look at that. Also, here we have Bleach 3. No news on whether that's gonna get a UK or US release just yet, but it's probably quite likely. And just as we walk around and continue, one of my favourite games from the show is Virtua Fighter 5 Live Arena. Now it's based on the latest build of the Virtua Fighter 5 game in the arcades. This guy right in front of us is very helpful, ran me through the whole game. And it's also got the Hori arcade stick, which we can have a quick look at. That's a beautiful arcade stick there. It's really nice to use. And Virtua Fighter 5 is more or less finished, they said, so look out for that. I think it's out in November in Japan and pretty soon after in the US and the UK. Over here is Sonic Rush, which strangely I was hearing Sonic is much more popular in the US and Europe than he is in Japan these days. So this game is actually out in the US and the UK. It's not out till October in Japan, which is quite weird. Anyway, it looks quite a good Sonic game. So check that out. Here, I can't actually remember what the name of this game is, but it's very Japanesey. It's I think it's the third game in a trilogy of these action RPG adventures, but it's not going to get a release in the West as yet, so we'll skip over that. Now bear with me for a minute because we have to run around this massive queue for Knights, which is oh no, that's that trilogy game, but here is the Knights queue. Absolutely humongous here. Just to note, this is the first day that the game show has been open today. We've been here for 3 days now as a media, but this is now open to the public and a lot busier than it was the past couple of days. So you got lots of people playing on their PSPs, DSs, mobile games. But if we head around here, we can see what looks to be a very exciting game. It's basically the third Yakuza game, but it's strangely the Yakuza trilogy is called something else in Japan, and the second game has only just been announced for the US. It's not been announced for Europe at all yet, but it's probably quite likely that it will be coming to both territories. It's definitely coming to the US. Here's the main stage where you can see the game I was just talking about. It is looking very good. The trailer for it is very exciting. Some great animation sword battles there. We'll pause for a second and have a look at that. Huge crowd of people watching it. I think there's a bit in a second where he gets flung backwards and sticks his sword in the ground. It's very cool. That's very cool. This is a game for the PlayStation 3, by the way. Which is pretty much all intents and purposes Yakuza 3. Let's head around and see a couple more games at the Sega stand. It's a pretty immense stand. Cut through all these people. This is getting very busy here. So Kenzan is also on show in a private little booth with lots of bamboo shoots running up it. It's quite nice there. And it's going to take us a few seconds to cut round and see the rest of it because it's so busy. As an aside here, there's Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. GameSpot's Brian Etberg spent yesterday at Polyphony Digital, which must have been very cool. So here's, I think this is Valkyrie, Callian Chronicles, which I haven't had a chance to play, but I believe has been previewed by Ricardo on the site. And there's this final game here, which unfortunately I haven't written down the English translation of. As you can see, it's just in Kenji on the side there. But it's basically an interactive story with text. It looks very much like Ringu and other Japanese horror games, but it's basically when you're reading out the text on screen, whenever, say, someone screams in the book, you'll hear a scream, and it's like basically an interactive book as far as I can understand it. Quite unlikely to get a Western release, that one. It's very Japanese, but the style of it looks very good, and there should be some videos online, I imagine. So it's looking pretty interesting, but it's very Japanese, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. And that is pretty much the Sega booth for TGS 2007. Check out more previews and coverage on the site itself.